Hi, I'm Avery Davidson. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, the only TV show bringing Louisiana farmers and consumers together every week. My partner, Kristen Oaks-White, will join us later on in the show. Cleanup and rebuilding continue south of Alexandria after an EF1 tornado ripped through that area almost 2 weeks ago. In the path were the LSU Ag Center Dean Lee Research Station and the DeWitt Livestock Center. TWILA's Neil Melanson takes us there to show us how this could affect research for the whole state.
Daryl Franks is arriving to another day at work here at the Dean Lee Research Station. He and Daniel Stevenson, the resident coordinator, are having anything but normal days, though. The tornado that came right through the heart of their station was a night they'll never forget.
And I kept watching it, so I just started watching, got my kids and my wife in the hall with the blankets and everything ready, pillows. And I started watching the trees, and they were swaying left to right, pretty vigorously. And then when I saw them kind of lay down in one direction, I mean, I'm talking big pecan trees, lay down in one direction, I turned and dove back into the hall and shut the door behind me, and I said, this is it.
Looking around, it's easy to see why this place won't return to normal anytime soon. Tara Smith says the monetary cost is in the millions.
The initial damage estimates are in the millions. We've made accomplishments already this week. We think that we're going to be able to save some of our critical pieces of equipment, but we know that it's going to take some time for our infrastructure and our station to come back to what it once was, and we're optimistic that we can be even better.
The storm's path took it pretty much right down this road, destroying things on either side, including a lot of these barns and the greenhouse over my right shoulder. In fact, the DeWitt Center is back over on the other side of that building and is almost completely demolished. It's going to have to be leveled and rebuilt. And the tornado damage might not be done. It hit at a time when there was a lot of research being done, and it's going to be an uphill battle to get it completed.
We're steady taking equipment out from underneath barns where the excavators are lifting it up. We're checking that equipment out to make sure that it's viable. We hope the possibility to lease or rent some equipment if we need some, to help us accomplish our research goals. But it is my goal as the research coordinator here to get what our scientists and their students, and really what the clientele of Louisiana need is information.
Both Smith and Stevenson have said there is some sunshine and that there was no loss of life, and it brought the LSU family together to help out, something they'll be grateful for in the days to come. For This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Neil Melanson.
School campuses across Louisiana remain closed because of the COVID-19 pandemic. That has disrupted agricultural education along with all other forms of study. However, the Louisiana FFA is ensuring that those students still learn about agriculture by taking lessons online. After just a few clicks on the Louisiana FFA website, you quickly see that agricultural education continues despite school closures due to COVID-19. Dr. Eric Smith is the Ag Education Executive Director for the Louisiana FFA. He says as soon as schools closed, the FFA began compiling resources on its website, linking to sources like the Louisiana Ag in the Classroom program. The team also developed 20 virtual lessons with exams and began holding weekly virtual teacher meetings, which are recorded and posted online.
We have not stopped anything that we normally do, and that's really the message I'd like to get across to our stakeholders and clientele, students and teachers. We have converted things virtually. We have postponed things till later in the summer in hopes that we can host them as we normally do.
So first, I want to say thank you guys for coming to my workshop.
FFA members are also going virtual, like in this workshop hosted by Louisiana FFA State Treasurer Victoria Higdon about staying positive through adversity.
Me and my teammates know that just because we can't physically be somewhere in person doesn't mean we still can't have that same positive impact on our members. So we've come up with many ideas for us to still keep engaged with our members. And one of them was to have virtual workshops that me and my team put on every weekend.
Today, what I want to do is just kind of show you how to plant something in a container.
Ag teachers like Westlake's Regina Smart are also taking lessons online via video.
I've been teaching for 24 years, and so kind of going into this virtual realm has been a little bit of a challenge for me.
Her daughter, Rachel, seen here in the Canine Physical Assessment video, took video production classes in high school and helped Regina Smart make the virtual transition.
She was my biggest inspiration, and had I not had her here with me, I might not would have jumped into it. as much as I have, and it has brought us so much closer.
It's the community of Sabine Parish that inspires Florian High School agri-science teacher and FFA advisor Amy Green. The school has 3 greenhouses. When school shut down, they were full of plants ready to sell for Mother's Day, which happens to be the FFA's biggest fundraiser for that school.
It was very refreshing that I would show up to the ag building and some community member had already watered or had already taken care of the plants for the day.
Green says all of the plants sold through a virtual sale. Green also took to social media to recognize the agricultural work students continued to do even while out of school. It's a sign of strength through adversity.
We're as strong as we've ever been, and we may actually be coming out of COVID-19 stronger than before because of some of the alternative methods that we had in place have now moved themselves up to the forefront and are becoming our primary resources.
Even though they may look a little differently, doesn't mean we still can't get that same learning and growth out of them. And it's amazing to see how even in this time of social distancing, our students are still keeping up that living to serve model that we live by and keeping it alive in our association.
As you saw, there are a lot of great resources on the Louisiana FFA website, as well as on its YouTube channel. We'll link you to both on our website, twilatv.org. Each spring, students from St. James Parish make a trip to Gramercy for the annual Ag Day. However, with schools closed because of the COVID-19 pandemic, that's not happening this year. They're not getting to go to the fast food farm. However, 4-H'ers from that area are going to the fast food farm every weekend to hand out activities to children so they can learn about the agriculture that surrounds us every day.
Hi, I'm Denny Email. I'm the founder and executive director of the Fast Food Farm. You know, we have been in operation for almost 20 years now, and we have done many field trips. But we also do Ag Days twice a year, which is our large events. And due to what's going on in our pandemic now, a lot of things have changed, and I have to make sure I can continue to bring agriculture to the students. Thinking about all those children that are not in school and at home, how can I get ag in the classroom to them now at home and not at school? So we came up with drive-through field trip, and I made kits. And so we have ag activities in a bag. So as they come through every Wednesday, they're getting 2 activities, and they are filled with the supplies that we would have given out on Ag Day. Hi, good morning. How y'all doing this morning? Doing good. Oh, thank y'all for coming.
Last week's activity was to create a bird feeder. Upcoming activities include the life cycle of a butterfly and how to make your own mini greenhouse. Now, if you'd like to learn more about the fast food farm or see some stories we've done from there before, go to our website at twilatv.org. You might even recognize a kid in one of those stories. Despite predictions of an early season ending, crawfish farmers and fishermen are still out there bringing in their catch. Looking around the state at prices, the Crawfish Shack in Oberlin has crawfish for $1.50 a pound live and $4.39 a pound boiled. Ray's Seafood in Houma has live crawfish for $1.76 a pound and $3.25 a pound for boiled. Finally, Farmer's Seafood in Shreveport has crawfish at $1.99 a pound live and $3.49 per pound boiled. We bring you these crawfish prices every week to inspire you to go out and eat crawfish, to increase the demand, if you will, because this has been a very tough season for our crawfish farmers and our fishermen. I mean, think about it. You're paying less than $2 a pound live for them retail. Think about what the farmer is getting when he sells it or she sells it. It's much lower. So if you know a crawfish farmer, if you know a fisherman, call them directly and make sure all of the money goes to them. They need that more than ever right now. And also that way you make sure it is Louisiana crawfish, because as the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board reminds us, ask before you eat. Still to come on TWILA, recognizing future veterinarians virtually. But first, there's a lot of field at one plantation home where you can feast with distance. Field to Feast is next. Stay with us. The restaurant industry has been hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic. However, chefs have come up with some pretty imaginative ways to go ahead and get food out to you and me, one of them being takeout. In this edition of Field to Feast, TWILA's Jennifer Finley takes us to Homa's house, where there's a lot of field there for you to spread out and have some social distance, while also enjoying a special takeout Mother's Day menu.
Field to Feast with Jennifer Finley is brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board, Louisiana Crawfish, ask before you eat, and by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council, beef, it's what's for dinner, and by the Louisiana Rice Promotion Board, think rice.
Welcome to Field to Feast, where we profile Louisiana and its local ingredients. This morning we're at Homa's house, and we're going to be speaking to Chef Jeremy Langlois. He's going to talk to us about the restaurant industry right now and their plans to reopen. Afterwards, he'll make us a special dish. Chef, you're somebody who knows a lot about this industry. You've been in this industry for a long time. Can you talk to me a little bit about the effects of what's been happening?
Well, sure. First of all, thank you so much for having us on your program. We always appreciate getting a chance to talk with you, Jennifer. As far as the affection, I think we're all just trying to hang in there. It's been quite challenging to the level of something we've never seen before. I don't think anybody in our lifetime has ever seen us having to just go on lockdown for just such a long time. We've definitely survived things. Whenever we opened up here in 2005, in January, a couple months later, we had Katrina, and we've definitely had some challenges that we've had to face, but nothing on this level. So we're just taking it day by day and just trying to get through the best we can. And it's a struggle that I really worry about. I have plenty of friends in the industry, plenty of restaurant owners, and more importantly, me, I'm a very much in the trenches kind of guy, and I'm super concerned about all of our staffing and all of our people who use this industry for their livelihood. So we're just trying to hang in there and just super eager to open up as soon as we can.
Well, I was wondering, comparable, is there anything that you've been through, and you said post-Katrina, that gives you some blueprints on how to do this, how to get back in the swing of things when the stay-at-home is lifted?
Well, I mean, nothing quite like this, to be honest with you.
All new territory.
All new territory. I mean, I think when we open back up, we expect there to be a period of adjustment where people are just comfortable going out and being around crowds of people and being just in big groups and things like that. But with that said, we're also making plans on the steps that we can ensure that level of safety. I mean, something I tell to my staff all the time, everything's important. And what I mean by that is that we've always taken that seriously, and it's going to be even more of a test. I mean, you've been in our kitchens, and we take just the cleanliness and the sanitation of our kitchens just as important as the food that we're putting on a plate. And we can see those efforts ramping up as well. We want to make sure that our guests who come and experience this place feel confident and feel safe coming in here, and we're looking to take all those challenges on head on, and we're just looking forward to opening up as soon as we can.
Okay, Chef, so what's y'all's plan for reopening?
Well, we're operating right now. We're doing takeout only, just like all of the restaurants. And what a lot of guests decide to do is they'll place their orders. We'll give it to them in a to-go box. And a lot of them, the beautiful thing about here at Homa's house is there's just so much space. So a lot of guests will actually choose to come out and either eat it on grounds, maybe sit down, because there is just a lot of space for them to spread out and
it's already social distance.
And one of the beautiful, I guess, coincidences is that the weather's just been so great, and it's just been absolutely perfect. So a lot of guests choose to eat out here. There's lots of room for people to spread out and eat. And then when we do eventually get the word where we can actually start to have guests come back in,
yes, like me.
Yeah, 100%. We plan to have you back, but we're already planning on still spreading everybody out. We have lots of room in our restaurants as well, so we'll probably sit people every other table for the first initial phase of our reopening, and we plan on coming back slowly.
Chef, tell me about the wedding industry when it comes to Homa's house.
Well, it's unfortunately just been crazy for everybody. Unfortunately, I feel really sorry for people because I know how much trouble goes into trying to plan a wedding, and all of our weddings in both April and May have all been postponed. So not necessarily canceled, but postponed. And we're looking forward to being able to serve those people whenever we come back online. The great thing of Homeless House, we have so much room, so we imagine that we can do anything from small 10 people intimate weddings all the way to 300, 400 plus people weddings. We've done and everything in between. So we have the means. A lot of people choose to get married out in front of the house. So there's plenty of room there. We have plenty of large both banquet spaces and outdoor spaces where we can really spread things out. So we're looking to be able to do them as soon as we can.
Well, for somebody who loves the restaurant industry the way that I do, and I have spent a lot of time in, with chefs over the years, I want to help. I don't know what to do. So for now and for the future, is there some advice for the viewers and for myself on things that actually would be helpful that we could be doing?
Well, if you're a guest, what I would tell anybody, if you have the means, if this hasn't really affected you as it has so many people, just support your local, support your favorite restaurants. We operate on such thin margins. We have such large overhead and staffs and things like that. So if you are able to, go and take advantage of some of these family meals that restaurants are open. Order out, take out as much as you can. Gift cards are another great idea. If you would go ahead and buy gift cards now that you can give away as great. They make great gifts, or you could just use them later when things do eventually open up. Well, now you have your gift card, and it's a good way to just support your local restaurants.
Chef, since we're here, would you mind sharing a special dish with us?
We have to. You can't come here and not do some cooking, right?
I cannot come here and not eat your food.
Let's get it.
Let's go. So we're back in the kitchen with Chef Jeremy Langlois at Homeless House, and what a cool kitchen.
Yeah, we're not just in any kitchen, so let me tell you a little bit about where we're at. So this is the old kitchen attached to the back part of the mansion of Homeless House, and this is the original kitchen. What we're sitting in is Homeless House. Actually, the building and the structure itself came up throughout the years, and we're actually standing in the oldest part of the building, which this is attached to what is called the cottage section of the house, which is the oldest part of the house, built in 1773. That's older than the Louisiana Purchase.
I can touch the ceiling.
Yeah, and one of the reasons for that is, as we go through the doorways and stuff like that, the reason why they're so short is because people were just shorter back then. So even the doors are shorter. A full-grown man would be about 5'4". A full-grown woman would be average height would be around 4'11". So people were just shorter back then.
What are we going to be making today? I'm
so
excited.
Well, when you approached me and I found out you were coming, you said, "Don't worry about
this that, or the other. Something that makes you happy."
Yeah. So this is an example of how I cook at home. When I cook at home, I go one extreme to the other. I either like doing a dish that's long and slow and soulful, or where I just go every now and then and give it a stir, like a stew or something like that, or I do something that's quick. I can whoop something up really quick, and this is just a classic. So we're gonna make some veal marsala.
Oh, perfect.
So what we have here is, this is just some veal cutlets from the leg that have been pounded out. Now you can use any other type of meat that you wish. Chicken, great. Pork, a pork chop that's been thin cut, great. The key is just having it nice and thin, because we're only going to cook it for a minute or two on each side.
And you can pound it out with a mallet, or you can...
Yeah, you grab that bad boy right there, and we can do it. But I'm going to start off just with a skillet. I like using Teflon for this one. You have it because it just makes it easy, but not a requirement. And all I'm going to do is simply season each side of it with salt and pepper. And then I like, whenever I do this at home, I like having a nice, different things. I don't like having a heavy crust, but for this particular dish, I like having a nice eggy, heavy crust. So all I'm doing is, this is just straight up a couple cracked eggs. I'm gonna coat it real good in there, really push it down into these breadcrumbs and go right into that hot skillet. So that's one in, get that sizzle, and let's get one more in there. But I really like having just that I dust off most of it, but I do like leaving a little bit of excess on. Now, if I was sauteing a piece of fish, I like having a thin, crispy crust, but this, I like kind of having that heavy kind of breadcrumb crust for this. So while that's cooking, and that's what you're smelling there is that Parmesan cheese and the breadcrumbs starting to toast on the outside.
My cheeks.
And then just for the marsala sauce, I got a little pot here. Real simple ingredients. These are just mushrooms here, nothing crazy, but any mushrooms you have would be perfect. I'm also going to throw some onions and garlic in it as well.
Usually I start with that, but so.
Yeah, and this is all just going to cook. Again, we're doing this in real time. The longest part of your prep here is slicing your mushrooms, cutting your onions and your garlic, and having your veal ready. once you get to that point, we're going to throw this together really quick.
Oh my word.
Let's just come back to here, just looking to get that beautiful,
that looks beautiful.
beautiful crust on the outside. I would maybe let this go a minute or two longer, but not much longer. Add a little bit more oil. And the reason I'm adding the oil is I want to have just a little extra oil that I can see here, because I'm going to add just a couple dabs of flour. And this is, it's like a quick little blonde roux. And I'm just adding, I'm not me, I don't like measuring. So I'm just adding enough flour to where I pick up that oil and I don't see it anymore.
Oh.
And then that way I know I put enough. And actually that's cooked plenty good enough. And then once we're to that part, we're going to add a little bit of beef broth.
Okay.
And beef broth is important, but now it's so readily available. You can go to your store, your supermarket. If you can make stock like we do in the restaurant, that's great. I see this as, like I said, we're just cooking it for a minute or two. I'm actually going to turn the heat off, but just let it sit there in the skillet while I finish off my sauce.
The beef broth is the marsala sauce. That's the
that's the base.
sauce.
That's going to be the base. And we're going to let that come up to a simmer, which it's doing here. Now, because we added the flour, anytime you're cooking with a roux or a cornstarch and you're thickening something, it has to boil. It doesn't reach its thickening potential until it comes up to a full boil.
Okay.
So you need it to come to a boil, quick boil, and then you're just going to add a little bit of marsala. This is just cooking wine. You can get right at the store, but a little bit of marsala wine.
Okay.
And we're basically almost there.
Oh my word.
I'm gonna let that simmer, but real quick, just for a second, I'm gonna add some salt, pepper, and some fresh parsley.
You chose the perfect dish.
And now, Jim, we're done. So let's just go to the plate. I'm gonna put a couple of these sauteed veal with that nice kind of breadcrumb and Parmesan crust.
Oh my word.
I'm gonna top it off with this marsala sauce with all those mushrooms.
Oh.
And look, this is real time. I mean, how long have we been cooking? Maybe 5 minutes?
Chef, this smells delicious.
Looks good. What do you think? You think we should give it a try?
I absolutely do.
Well, let's get it.
Well, thank you so much for having us today.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure. We're just so excited. We're just so excited to just get back up and running and have guests here and just continuing to do what we do and feed people.
Oh, I need an extra mushroom.
And get you an extra mushroom. We got a lot to go around here. Tell me what you think.
Oh my word.
You can do this, right?
I think I can. This is amazing. Thank you, Chef.
It was a pleasure to have you.
I'll be back when you're reopened.
Love to have you. Perfect.
Field to Feast with Jennifer Finley was brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board, Louisiana Crawfish, ask before you eat, and by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council, beef, it's what's for dinner, and by the Louisiana Rice Promotion Board, think rice.
The coronavirus pandemic has affected nearly every aspect of our normal life. Across the country, widespread school and university closures forced 76 million students to rapidly adjust to learning at home. These closures have hit high school and college seniors particularly hard, canceling milestone events like prom and graduation. But parents and educators are stepping up to find creative ways to honor these students and celebrate their achievements during this time. Last week, professors at Louisiana Tech University honored 21 students who were accepted into veterinarian school with an online stethoscope unboxing ceremony via Zoom.
Hi, I'm Reagan. I'm from West Monroe, Louisiana. I'll be attending LSU in the fall.
All right, Callie.
I'm Callie Henderson. I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana. I'll be attending LSU, Baton Rouge in the fall. And my dream job is probably mixed animal practice.
I'm Peyton White. I'm from Longview, Texas, and I got accepted to Mississippi State University.
I'm John Cunningham. I'm from Monroe, Louisiana. I'll be attending Louisiana State University in the fall, and my dream job would be to be a safari veterinarian.
Thank you for this day and the opportunity to recognize and honor these outstanding students who have worked so hard to get to this place in their lives.
Even though we can't meet in person, you are part of our tech family, and we hope that you'll continue to be a part of our family regardless of where you go to vet school.
Congratulations to each one of y'all. I know that you have worked hard during these difficult times, and no graduates that I know have faced what y'all have had.
We're just incredibly proud of you. 21 students admitted into the vet schools. What a great tribute to you all. we're proud of you. We knew coming in this was going to be a great class, and you have just accomplished so much.
Go Dogs!
Congratulations to all of these future doctors and to the entire class of 2020. I know you're all going to do great things in the future. Well, that does it for this edition of TWILA. Be sure to join us next week when we'll take you out to a Hungarian settlement right here in Louisiana, where one farmer is educating the next generation on the great opportunity that farming can offer. Until then, you can watch all of our stories on twilatv.org, and be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. For all of us here at TWILA, thanks for joining us. We hope to see you again right here next week.